think we can get started. I'm Chrissy Wozniak from North American Ag, the host of tonight's webinar. Welcome to Fastline Auctions, taking a tour of this new state-of-the-art bidding platform with Tim Gladney, IT Director from Louisville, Kentucky, and Ted Shepman, Director of Auctions from Wichita, Kansas. Thanks so much for joining us. Dean Bark, the president of Fastline, he was supposed to join us tonight, but he's having connectivity issues, so we're going to go ahead without him. So with more than 40 years of experience, Fastline's commitment to the ag industry, its customers and farmers is unparalleled. With Fastline Print, Fastline.com, and Fastline Digital, they offer integrated marketing solutions for the evolving agricultural community. Fastline Marketing Group is now proud to announce the launch of Fastline Auctions, a new service aimed at helping farmers and dealers list and purchase agricultural equipment through their online auction platform. With over 1 million website visitors annually, 100,000 emails, and a social media following of over 400,000, Fastline is poised to become the preferred auction destination for buyers and sellers alike. Following the presentation, we're going to hold a Q&A session, so feel free to add questions as you think of them during the presentation using the Q&A feature, and we're going to go through them all at the end. So from Fastline Marketing Group, I'm going to turn it over to Ted. Welcome, Ted.
Yeah, thanks, Chrissy. Thanks for hosting us here tonight. We are really excited to be here. We're excited to have this opportunity to launch Fastline Auctions. You know, and you're right. We've been in the ag space and a partner to the farming community for over, I think, 45 years now, actually. So launching this bidding platform, it just seemed to be like the next natural progression for us. We've had a lot of different dealerships ask us, you know, why do you guys not have a bidding platform on the side? It's something a lot of people don't know as time has gone on. We have over 100,000 pieces of equipment on Fastline.com at all times. So it just seemed to be a great fit for us, and we're excited to get it going. So we've probably spent about the last 8 or 9 months working on this. It's not like we just rolled out of bed one day and decided to hey, let's have an auction platform. We put a lot of thought into this. We've brought people in to the company that have worked at other auction companies. They understand the platforms and how those work, and in addition to that, you know, as well, we've tried to bring in a lot of the different things that people like about auctions, the things that we've seen work for other companies, and at the same time, we've tried to eliminate all the red tape, all the things that kind of can hinder a buyer or seller to make this a good experience for everybody involved. So with that was building the auction platform, making it very accessible, easy to use, easy to get around, and this is where I obviously you call on the person that knows it the best. That's why we've got Tim Gladney here. He's our director of IT. He can walk us through the platform and what that looks like.
Yeah, hello everyone. As Ted said, I'm Tim Gladney. I'm the director over here at IT. I've been with Fastline for a little over 25 years now. And I am going to share my screen, and we'll go kind of walk through and talk a little bit about the new auction platform. The new auction platform that Fastline recently launched, and a little bit about how it integrates and everything into our Fastline.com screen, our Fastline.com site. So right now you should be seeing our Fastline.com website, and we'll go kind of start here and kind of walk through everything. So kind of get started, first thing you're going to see across the top of the page is a little scrolling marquee that I put my mouse over here. This is kind of a new little message board that will kind of give people some key information going on during our auctions as they visit our Fastline.com website. So we'll tell people about when the auction has started, when the things are going to end. It reminds people on how to click through and register for the auction. Any pertinent information about the auction will be scrolling across the top here on Fastline.com. We're starting here on Fastline.com because all of our audience out there over the last 45 years and have come to Fastline.com, and coming here to Fastline.com is kind of the natural stepping stone over into our auction platform. So you will see here a few things up on our home screen that has changed for the new auction platform. First, you're going to see an auction menu up here at the top. Underneath that auction menu, you're going to see a few different auction options. The first one you see here is Fastline Auctions. We'll click on that in a minute, but that will take you straight into our bidding platform. The Fastline Auction Listings, this will take you to some of the items that will be sold either in the current auction or our upcoming auctions. And then these other two links here, the other auction listings, we also service the auction communities in other ways with all the different marketing we do. So this is a link to some of those third-party auction services and everything that use our marketing services that we've always had on Fastline. It's just kind of a new link for them. And then we have an auction calendar coming soon. And basically the auction calendar coming soon is just going to be kind of a melting pot where we're going to be able to list our auctions and other auctions happening in different areas all in one place so that people have one spot to come look and find auctions going on in their areas or across the United States. Also here on the homepage down underneath our icons, you're going to see another Fastline auction icon. This icon and this icon will take you to the exact same place on it, just two different ways of using our website. But there's also a third way to be able to see items in the auction before you jump to one of these two spots. And as people have been coming to our sites for many years to look up equipment to purchase by using our categories here or our search box at the top, we want to make sure that anybody that came in and looked for a particular piece of equipment, say for an example, a New Holland tractor, would not only see items listed for sale on our site, but we want to make sure they also had the option of bidding on items that were in our auction. So you can see here, if I type in a New Holland and do a search for it, when our site brings up all the results of this New Holland TS110, as you're scrolling down, you will see a regular item listed here for sale. And you will also see a mix of the auction items. So if that particular piece of equipment that somebody is looking for is listed for sale on our site or is in one of our upcoming auctions, you will actually see that item here side by side. So you can choose to either purchase the item directly, or they could choose to look at the item that's in the auction, read more information about it, and bid on it. The system will even tell you how long that you have to bid on the item before the auction ends. It would tell you over here, it would tell you the starting bid of the item. And if the item has any additional bids, it will also give you that information. So for example, I'll do a search here on another particular piece of equipment. This is a zero-turn mower. And if I bring up this piece of equipment here, you will see there's several of them listed here for sale. But here's also one that's listed in our first auction. So currently there's 18 days and 1 hour remaining for this auction. This item's had 52 bids. Its current high bid is $13,950. And you will see the high bidder, his bidder number is 5006, and that bidder is from Colorado. So there's several different ways that you can see some of the items on our site. So if you are used to using our Fastline.com for searching for equipment like I just did, you can find that information here and click on the buttons here to take you to our auction platform. Or again, you can use one of the links as I mentioned at the beginning, either here or up in our menu. To just kind of show you how it works, if I go ahead and click on this auction button here, it brings you up to the home page or the main page of our auction platform, our bidding platform. From here, there is a short video up at the top that just talks about Fastline getting into the auction world and our new adventure into it, and just tells you a little bit about it. You would notice up at the top, you have a similar looking header, just like you have on Fastline.com. And then down here, it lists the upcoming auctions or the current auctions and some upcoming auctions. So here it tells you that we have a Fastline auction ending on August 1st. The starting time for bidding started on the 11th on Tuesday. It ends on 8/1. And you can click here to enter the auction and start looking at items. We do also have our second auction scheduled. The second auction will be ending on September 12th. People will be able to start bidding on the items on 8/22 on it. That one says coming soon. In a couple weeks, that one will open up and you'll be able to click on it and see some of the items going that will be auctioned off during that auction. And then as we start scheduling more and more auctions the rest of the year, you will start seeing some of those show up along here as well. But to go ahead and jump into our first auction, you can go ahead and click the enter auction. and it brings up our auction platform. And here is where you will see all 105 items. 105 items are in the first auction, and you can start scrolling through the items and taking a look at the items in details. Before we actually jump through and look at these items in details, one thing that you have to do to be able to participate in our auction is you will have to sign in and register for a bidder account. Now, without a bidder account, as you can see, I'm not logged into the site. It tells you up here, I need to sign in or register. It also tells you here, I need to log in. Even without being logged in, you can still come to the site and you can look through equipment and see what we're auctioning off and find the items that you're interested in. But you will need to register for the auction. It's a one-time registration process to set the terms and conditions and for us to verify you. And you'll want to go ahead and make sure you do that early to make sure you get everything done, your account created and verification out of the way so that you can go ahead and bid on the auction as soon as you're ready. So we'll go ahead and jump into the registration process. It doesn't matter if you click the sign in register button here or the login button down here, it's going to take you to the same place. So we'll go ahead and click on the registration button or the sign in registration button. If you already had your account, you could go ahead and sign in. If for some reason you've forgotten your password, just go ahead and click the forgot password link and we will send you an email on how to reset your password. But today we're going to go ahead and walk through the registration process. So I'm going to click register. And one thing I do want to point out in the registration process is right now we have a chance for the first 500 people to register in our system. And this chance actually ends on Monday on it. They will be entered into a drawing to win a $5,000 auction credit. Well, what's an auction credit? That means when you go through and you buy your first piece of equipment in the Fastline auction, we will give you a $5,000 credit towards that piece of equipment that you're purchasing on the auction. So if you purchase a piece of equipment for $10,000, that $10,000 piece of equipment, if you are the winner of this $5,000 auction credit, is only actually going to cost you $5,000, and Fastline is going to cover the other $5,000. That's just a thank you for registering early for our auctions, and to go ahead and get you fully set up in the system. Fastline is giving away that 5,000 auction credit. But again, guys, it's the first 500 registrants, and the chance of this ends on Monday. So make sure after this webinar or this weekend that you go ahead and get registered so that you can get in that drawing for that $5,000 credit. If I look down past that $5,000 credit, you will see here the registration process. Registration process is pretty simple and pretty quick. First thing you do is pick a username. So I'm going to go ahead and create a sample account here to kind of show you guys how it works. So I just created that username. The username can be anything you want. Here, you will have to create a password. And as long as the password meets the criteria, then you will go through and get a green checkbox and be able to move on. If you're missing something from the password, you need to make the password a little bit more advanced or complicated, then the system will tell you that too. After that, you just go ahead and fill in the rest of the box. Middle name is optional, so you can fill it in or not fill it in. That's your choice. And I'm just putting the word sample here at the end, just so I identify the system as one that we created here. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in my email address. If you're bidding as a company, then you'll want to put your company name there. If you're bidding as an individual, then and you don't have a company name, then that's fine. You can leave that field blank. And then we also require a birthday in the system as well. Down here, it's asking you for your phone number. If there is a secondary phone number, then you can add that to the system. And soon, coming in one of our next couple auctions, we also have a text messaging service that will be added to the screen as well too. So what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to check a box here that says you're willing to receive text messages from Fastline auctions. And we'll kind of talk about a little bit more in the platform, how that text messaging will help you in your actual bidding experience. So that will be coming soon. So I'll fill in my info there. Here, you would need to put in your address. The address here will help us verify you. The address will also provide some tax information just to make sure that We are tax compliant and are applying taxes the correct way on it. So this is your regular address. If you do have a separate shipping address, if you're going to get into shipping, which we'll talk about later, then you can apply that shipping address at the bottom. We hit the next step. And as anything is these days, there's always those legal terms. So take a look at these legal terms. Basically, these legal terms just talk about Fastline doing business, Fastline Auctions doing business as part of the Fastline Marketing Group. It does talk a little bit about how long you have to pay for the equipment once you win the winning bid, making sure you pick up the equipment in a timely manner, and what happens if you do not pick up the equipment. So please make sure you look through the information on our legal terms and conditions. Check the agree box, hit submit, and then it says you have completed the online portion of the registration, and we are now sending you an email to confirm your email address on the account. And when we turn on our texting services, it will also ask you to confirm your text phone number as well too. And again, that's coming soon on it. So once we've done that, I'll have to jump over here to my email on my other screen on it. And this is just a sample message, but basically there will be a welcome message coming from Fastline Auction with a little paragraph that tells you a little bit more about getting started. And then it would confirm the username that you typed in on it. And then if you are tax exempt, then Fastline will need a copy of your tax exempt form so that if you are the winning bidder, that we do not have to charge you tax on it. So make sure that you read this information about tax exempt. You can click on this link and you can fill in the tax exempt form and upload your tax exempt form, and then our system will monitor your tax exempt status and make sure we do not charge you taxes when we invoice you. And then at the very bottom, you just need to click verify email. And when you hit verify email, it brings you back in the system. It says, thank you for verifying your email address. You are now ready to use the system, and you can go ahead and click to sign in, and you can go ahead and sign into the account. So here on sign in, you will see that you can process it with a username or an email address. Either one works fine. In this case, I'm just going to type in the email address I used. Type in your password. And again, if you ever forget the password, you can go ahead and use the forgot password link. Yep. And if I type my password incorrectly, it will actually let me in. See if I got it correct that time. There we go. So it got me into the system and it brought me back to the beginning of the page. From here, I'll go ahead and click back into the auction just like we did before. And you would notice now that it now tells me to log out at the top because I'm already logged into the system. It will also here, I now see bid now buttons instead of the login buttons, because now I've gone through the registration process. I've been verified. I've accepted the terms, and now I'm able to use the system in all of its full functionality. So before we actually do a bid, just talk a little bit about this screen here. It basically tells you up here, Fastline Auctions. It ends on August 1st. If you hit the little down arrow, there may be some more additional information in here if there's additional terms or additional information about the auction that you need to be aware of. That information will be listed here. It does give you some reminder dates of when everything's happening. There's also a contact link here. By clicking this contact, it will bring up Ted's information that was talking a few minutes ago, that you could contact Ted with any questions or any issues that you are having with the auction system, and mainly just questions about it. There will also be some other contact information on later on. There's one spot that you can get to some contact information. You can always call Fastline's main number, our 800-626-6409 number, and our operator here will pass you over to one of us in the auction area, auction division, and we can help you that way as well too. Down the left-hand side, there's some basic search functionalities. You can do some filtering if there's a particular piece of equipment you're looking for. You can also hit the category button, and you can see all the different types of information, types of equipment we have in the system. So you can see we got 3 tractors listed right now. We got 6 different trailers listed. We got some tires and wheels and a skid steer to a few other recreational vehicles. So all of that type of stuff here, or you could just do it the good old window shopping way and just kind of scroll through our listings. You will see there's 25 listings listed per page. So right now there's 5 pages of listings. And as you scroll through the listings, you can just see all the different listings on the site that are auctioning off and would be ending on Tuesday, August 1st. To kind of walk you through one of these cards here, the basic screen here will show you a picture of the piece of equipment. It will show you the title of the equipment. It will show you when it ends and what time it ends, how much time you have left. It will show you how many bids, who the current bidder is, who has a high bid, what the high bid amount is, and then it gives you an option to bid right now, or you can click this button and add the item to the watch list. And I'll add a couple here, and then I'll kind of show you guys the watch list in a minute. If this screen doesn't give you enough information, that's fine. We have more information. You can click on the picture. You can click on a view lot details. The system will actually go to a page and open up and give you a bigger picture. You can see that we have 46 pictures of this piece of equipment. There's also a video on this piece of equipment too. That video will show the piece of equipment running, starting, running, turning, shutting off, so you can hear the piece of equipment. And with all of these pictures and these videos, this whole part of it is to make sure that you guys feel comfortable bidding on the piece of equipment, knowing exactly what you're going to get when you bid on a piece of equipment, and there won't be any surprises at the end. And Ted will probably talk a little bit more about this after I finish showing you the platform. Down here, there's more details on the piece of equipment. You can see the bidder history. So to be fully transparent on the auctions, we want to make sure you guys understand that who's bidding on it, or I mean, at least that the different people that are bidding, and you can see where the people are bidding from. You can see their bidder numbers. You obviously will not see the person's name for privacy reasons, but you will see bidder numbers and where they're bidding from. And you can see every bid they placed and the date and time. All of our date and times are in Eastern Standard Time. So you can scroll through here and you can see every bid that was placed. Item location will show you the city and the state that the piece of equipment is located in. This is so that you know where you will have to travel to go pick up the piece of equipment, or if you are arranging transportation. This will give you enough information to be able to obtain transportation quotes on it. Once, if you are the winning bidder, once you win the bid, you will be given the full information of the exact address and everything at that point in time. But this information will just give you the general idea of where the piece of equipment is located at. There will be some more contact information here. There will be some contact information for Ted. And there's also a couple more contacts coming here of some additional people that you can call and ask questions about this piece of equipment. Both the sales rep that listed this piece of equipment and went and visited it and checked it all out. And in some cases, there will also be phone numbers and information of the actual dealership or the person that is the current owner of the piece of equipment, so you can call and talk to them as well. Again, up here, some information about when the auction is ending, what the current bid is, start times and end times, how many bids they've had. Again, the current high bidder. Currently, the bid increment is at $250 for bid increments. So it's telling you right here that if you want to bid, you have to bid at least $14,200. You can obviously bid more than that, but that is what the minimum bid is at this time. Again, the watch list icon I clicked on the other screen, it shows it here as well too. And then a few more pieces of information like year, makes, models, serial number, stock number, number of hours that's on a piece of equipment, or any additional information. We also do have some ways that, obviously you can print the page out, you can share the page to some social media. If you look at something, you see a family member or somebody else you think may be interested in this piece of equipment, you obviously can tag them in one of these social media posts and send them the information about the piece of equipment as well too. So up here, there are buttons that allows you to go back to the previous slot, or a button up here that just allows you to look at the next lot if you just kind of want to scroll through the lots. And the back to catalog just takes you back to the main screen here so that you can see all the listings of all the equipment. By default, the equipment is listed in sell order, in the order that they will be selling and closing in. So you notice this one, the auction is completed at 5 p.m. This one's going to be a little bit after 5 p.m. and so on and so on as you go down the list. The system does stagger the end time so that if you are bidding on multiple pieces of equipment, then everything doesn't end at one time and you're trying to get all your last minute bids in all at the exact same time. The system will stagger those lots. So the system by default puts it in order of when those pieces of equipment will close. But again, over here in the filtering, you have the option of changing that sort order to however you see fit to work, that fits your need the best. A couple other things before we actually bid on a piece of equipment to talk about is in our bidding platform, when you're bidding on a piece of equipment and say you get down to those last 5 minutes, and maybe you may be the high bidder on 2 or 3 pieces of equipment, or you are watching it down to that last 5 minutes and trying to get that final bid in. When you bid on a piece of equipment, say it's 4 minutes left before the piece of equipment ends, and you bid on that piece of equipment, once you bid on that piece of equipment, it does reset the remaining time to 5 minutes again. That gives the system time to notify the previous bidder that they've been outbid, and gives them an opportunity to jump back into the system and bid again. If they jump into the system and bid again and say there was 1 minute left, then the system will reset the timer to 5 minutes. It would notify you that you were been outbid by somebody else in case you weren't watching the screen. And that gives you time to jump back into the system and bid again. And that process keeps going on until somebody stops bidding. And then that one person becomes the final winner of the auction. The way you are notified of being outbid at any time in the system, whether it's the last 5 minutes or whether it's today, even though there's 18 days left on the auction, the system will send you an email to that email address that you use when you register. So once you've been outbidded, the system will send you a message and let you know that you've been outbidded, and will give you a link to click on that will take you directly back to that item and allow you to place another bid if you want to up your bid again, or if you just want to review what the person did before you. I mentioned that we have a text messaging service being added on to our auction platform soon. And one of the benefits of that text messaging service is we know that you may not always be able to watch email and receive an email exactly when it comes in. But most people get text messages within minutes of somebody sending a text message. So as soon as that text message service is on, we'll send out a notification. People can go turn on the text message service. You can put in your cell phone for your text messaging. And when you are outbid, you will have the option of having that outbid message sent to you as a text message, so you can get that message instantly. As soon as you get that text message, you can click on that link on your mobile device. It will bring up the mobile version of this website. You type in your new bid amount, hit bid, and you're right back into the game again, waiting to see if you win or if somebody turns around and bids against you. So that text messaging service will be great for those mobile users and for those people that will see those mobile messages or text messages before they see their email. Now, I did go through and I clicked on a few of these little eyeball for watch lists. And just to kind of show you what those do is, as I click on those, they turn green. So you may go through this 105 items, and you may see 4 or 5 items that you're truly interested in, you want to keep an eye on. You can mark those items, and then whenever you log into the platform, you can just come down here to watch list, and our system would take those 4 or 5 items that you're watching, and it would put them all on a page together, and you can see exactly what's happening in real time for those 4 or 5 items. So it's a great way to sit there and watch a few items on it. And you can watch some items from this auction. As soon as we open up the September auction, you'll be able to watch some items from that auction, and you'll be able to watch them all on one screen at the same time. So that's just another way to help you zero in and keep an eye out on those items that you're particularly interested in without having to look through those lists of 105 items every single time you come back to the site. But now for the bidding, to show you how the actual bidding works on it. So there's a few different ways you can actually bid. So you can bid obviously directly from this screen here by clicking the bid now button. You can also, if you're looking at the detail screen, there's also bid options there. So if I take you from this very first screen here to show you how that one works is, I click the bid now button. If I needed to accept any terms or if I didn't complete something, the system will tell you at that time. But otherwise, when you click the bid now button, it comes up here. It basically just gives you the legal information saying you're entering into a binding contract by anything that you bid here. And then you have 2 options here. You can do a max bid or a regular bid. So a regular bid is if I take a regular bid and I put in $200 here and I hit confirm bid, then the system's going to bid $200 for me and I'm going to be the high bidder at $200. But then if Ted came in behind me and bid another $50 on this item, then he would be the high bid at $250 and I would receive a notification saying I was outbid if I wanted to, and I'm no longer winning that auction and I would need to come back and bid again. You know, say I've got something else going on. I don't want to sit here and bounce ping pong back and forth to the site every time somebody comes up and bids. I can go through and set a max bid. And I can set a max bid and say I want to set my max bid to $5,000. And I hit confirm bid. Watch what happens. So I'll hit confirm bid. They say, are you sure you want to do your bid at $5,000 for a max bid? I'll say place bid. And it placed the bid for $100. Now, if Ted came in and bid $100, it would take him to $200. And then it would take me up to the next increment after that. And it would make me the high bidder again. And the system will automatically keep bidding for me every time somebody bids against me until I get to that 5,000 mark. And then at that point, the system will send me a message telling me that I need to bid again, that I've already hit my max and I'm no longer winning the auction and I need to bid again. Just because you have the max bid in does not mean you won't know that somebody's bidding against you. Even if the system automatically bids for you, it will still continue to send you those messages, letting you know that somebody bid against you, but the system raised your bid for you so that you don't have to come back to the site and go ahead and raise it again. So we will still notify you of every time a bid is placed on your behalf, whether it's an automatic bid or it's a manual bid to you. You will also notice, since I am currently winning this bid is highlighted in green. If Ted was to come in and bid behind me, then this green mark would turn red. So visually, I would know that I was outbidded. Also, again, I would receive that bid notification. And since I had a max bid of 5,000 in the system would bid for me again automatically. This box would immediately turn green again and put me up to my next level. Obviously, this 5,000 I can see here on the screen, but I can only see that here on the screen because I'm logged in. Obviously, somebody else logged in is not going to know that you have a max bid at 5,000. That information is private to you, but it does show you on the screen so that if you're bidding on multiple items, you remember exactly where you're at on each one of these items. So that's one way of bidding, is from this front screen. If I go ahead and on this item and click into the screen, and I'm looking at the item here and I decide I want to bid on the item, again, I can come over here. It's telling me that I had to bid at least $100. I can go ahead and put in $100, hit my bid button. And at this point, the system will go ahead and I can hit place bid and the system will place the bid for me. If I hit the change bid type, I have the option of choosing whether I want this to be a regular bid or a max bid on it. In this case, I'm just going to say this one's a regular bid and hit confirm, place bid. And now I don't know if you all can hear it, but the system does play a little sound effect. It does a little ding on it. It tells me in the top corner that I placed the bid. And now it tells me 5008 from Kentucky, which is me. That's right here. I am now the current high bidder at $100. And if anybody else wants to come in, like Ted or Chrissy wants to come in and try to bid, they would have to place a bid of at least $110 or more. And our system does down here tell you that what the bid increments are. The bid increments, you can click the question mark. It does tell you it's a scale. So anything under $1,000 is a $10 increment. Now, that doesn't mean you have to follow the $10 increment. You can jump it up by $20. You can jump it up by $500 if you choose to. But at bare minimum, our $10 increments, it jumps up to $25 increments, and then all the way up to $250 increments, depending upon how much the current bid amounts are at. Now that I bid on this item, it automatically added to my watch list. So anytime you bid on an item, the system will automatically add it to your watch list, and it brings it over here in your watch list of items. So you can see these 3 items without the green borders on it is what I put in the watch list manually myself. But since I bid on both of those items, then it went ahead and added it to my watch list and put the green border on it. If somebody was to outbid me, these items would still be in my watch list again, but this green border would turn red. And At that point, again, I know that I'm being outbid by visually looking at it on the screen, plus the notification through email and soon to be text messages will also inform me that I've been outbid as well. All right. From here, if I jump back to the platform, again, I can scroll through and look at any of the other items. Sorry, click the wrong button. I jump back to the platform, the beginning of the platform. I can go through and I can see all the items. As I scroll through the items, again, I can click the next button and it loads the next 25 items. Again, the next button's at the bottom and top, and so on. So I can keep scrolling through each one of those. If I want to see more than 25 items at a time, I can go through and change the system to show me 50 items at a time, and I can see a bigger screen and just do more scrolling. So that's up to your personal preference on it. A couple of things I did mention here, we do have photos, and some of the equipment, or most of the equipment, will have videos on it. Here, you can just click on each picture and scroll through it. You can use the scroll buttons there. You can actually click on the picture and it blows the picture up larger, and you can scroll through each one of the larger pictures there. Our goal by having many pictures on each item is to make sure that you can see all angles, the model numbers, the tags on it, on equipment, hours, any information that you may need to know to judge the condition of it, to make sure you know what you're bidding on. We hope to have that in the picture. And for some reason, if you don't see anything in the picture, or you don't see something that is being disclosed in the picture that you need to know about, feel free to hit one of those contact buttons and get a hold of us, and we will get you that answer. If you only want to look at photos, you can click the photo buttons. If you only want to look at videos, you can hit the video button, or again, the all button does everything. If I come up here and hit the video, you will see it brings up a YouTube video. I hit play, and then it will go ahead and start playing the video. There is sound in the video. I'm not sure if that transfers through to your Zoom call, but there is sound on the video. You can sit there and you can watch it. You can watch the gentleman take it and drive around, and you can give him time. You can stop it and move on and look at the other pictures as well. At this point in time, once the auction gets down to August 1st and the auction is almost complete, or the auction is complete, the system will automatically notify you if you're on a winning bid. So if you're not there watching it and the thing just ended, and you were out in the field, you were gone with the family somewhere, the system will send you a notification email letting you know whether you were the high bidder on the piece of equipment you were bidding on, and if you won the piece of equipment. Once you won, within 24 hours, our system here will verify all the information in the system. Then the system will send the winning bidder an invoice. That invoice and that email in that email that the invoice comes on will give information about payment. But basically, the preferred method of payment would be an ACH or a credit card on it. If ACH and credit card are not possible, there is options that we could talk about sending a certified check-in that will have to be sent in overnight, but it would give you all that information in the email. The payment needs to be sent in within 48 hours, which again would be in that email message on it. That payment will come in once we secure funds from the buyer. Then a message will be sent to the seller and the buyer, letting them know that we have secure funds, and that piece of equipment can now be released. At that point in time, if the person is driving up to pick the piece of equipment up, they will have the contact information of the seller, and they would just need to make arrangements with the seller to make sure of a pickup time. And they will go up and they will exchange titles and pick up the information and any paperwork at that time. They won't have to be worried about payments, because the payments have already been made to Fastline, and then Fastline is taking care of the seller for you. If transportation, if you're not going to be going up and picking it up and you haven't made transportation arrangements at that point, then at that point in time, you can use one of the transportation providers that are being added to the site, or you can talk to that dealer or that person there and make transportation arrangements with them. Either way you go, the transportation arrangements is done through the buyer on it and on the buyer's own. Transportation is not included in any of the equipment that's done on the auction. Once that piece of equipment is picked up, then the buyers enjoying their new piece of equipment that they received through our auction. Our dealers are happy with their auction sales, and then this whole entire process starts over again for our next auction, and then every auction that we have in the future from that point forward. At that point, Ted, I'll just turn it back over to Ted, and I think Ted may have a few other things on it, and then from there we'll turn it back to Chrissy.
No, good job, Ted. That's exactly why you bring the IT director in to go through something like that. Just wanted to piggyback on what Tim said there at the end, that we do have different opportunities or options for transportation and financing that will be coming to the bidding platform very soon. But on this first auction, if anybody has any questions about either you're needing financing or you're needing transportation, give us a call. Just give me a call. I think my name and number's on pretty much every item that's set, or it is on every item being sold, and we'll get you set up with that. Other than that, I think Tim covered a lot of it on the functionality of the website, bidding platform, how that works. We'll give it back over to you here, Chrissy.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Tim. That was an awesome overview. And I just posted in the chat the link so that after we're over, you can check out the link to Fastline Auctions. And we've got a couple questions here. The first one is, how is tax handled? Who remits, Fastline or the seller?
Okay, so the tax amount is deciphered on the location of the item. So that's where we tax on the zip code of where the item is sitting. So lots of farmers are tax exempt. At that point, you can just present to us. You can email it to us, whatever it takes to get a picture of your tax exempt form, and then we won't charge you any tax. So it's pretty simple process.
Well, that's good.
And Ted just added that, guys, in your welcome message, don't forget there will be a link in that welcome message to upload your tax exempt form into the system, so the system won't charge you the tax. But if for some reason there is tax that needs to be charged and not tax exempt, then the invoice will have tax put on it. Fastline will receive that tax and everything, and we have partnered with a tax filing service that will take care of filing those taxes and everything for us.
Perfect. So the seller doesn't need to worry about that then.
That's correct.
Yep.
All right. Awesome. All right. Next question. What happens if the bidder ends up not paying for the item?
Yeah, so that happens sometimes. I've been in the auction industry for quite a few years now at a couple different companies, so I had some experience with that. And it seems to me, I think a lot of people would agree the best solution is we can go to the second and third highest bidder to see if they would take the item at their last bid. If they would not, then we can just roll it right into the next upcoming auction. So that's pretty rare. I would say we're batting about 98% success rate on receiving payments for the items, but it does happen once in a while. But there's options. There's definitely options to just go to the second or third highest bidder.
Great. Okay. Next question. What's the fee to list an item?
Nothing. There's no fees to list an item. I guess we don't have any buyer's fees on the backside. There's no extra like listing fees that you might see in some cases. We have just a very upfront commission rate structure that's in the listing agreement that the seller would sign with us at the very beginning. So we all kind of know, what that rate will. I guess we will know what that rate's going to be right out of the gate. We are kind of priding ourselves on that. We've come into this industry with the lowest commission rates that I've seen that are wanted to make this, 45-year history of Fastline. We've always tried to be that partner to the ag community, and we felt like by adding this product, by adding this auction platform, it's just one more way that we can help, we can give back, and do it at the lowest possible commission rates that we can.
All right. And the next question, how long do you have to pay for the equipment?
So, okay. We'd like to get that wrapped up in 48 hours. So a buyer can pay with a credit card. You can pay a wire transfer or a direct ACH transfer. If none of those are a possibility for the buyer, we can accept a bank or a check from a bank with a I guess a letter or a good standing from their banking institution within that 48 hours.
Good. Next one, just a couple left. If anybody else wants to submit a question, do that now. How does the person who listed the equipment get paid?
Okay, so they get a cut of the commission. To be quite honest, that's pretty much the industry standard. We've got a lot of different people, and we're growing too. We're looking for people. So I mean, if there's people out there looking for a either a part-time or full-time job, we've got them all. We've got tons of opportunities as we expand this over the next few months. So we're just looking forward to growing with that.
Good. And looks like last question. Can Canadians bid?
Absolutely. Yep. They can absolutely bid. We just want it to be known, though, that we work with an American bank, obviously, so the funds would have to be paid through be transferred over to U.S. funds.
Great. Awesome. I think that's it for questions. Do either of you want to add anything else before we wrap it up?
I just give everybody a reminder that if you're interested in registering for the auction and possibly purchasing equipment on this auction, make sure you get registered soon if you want to be entered in that drawing for that $5,000 auction credit, because that will be ending shortly. Other than that, same thing Ted said. If anybody's got any questions or anything afterwards, feel free to reach out to one of us.
Yep. And if I could add anything too, I would say if you're an interested bidder or buyer, we want you to, we want this whole experience to be 100% transparent, to where you can not only talk to me, you can talk to Tim. If we have another representative that listed the equipment, you can talk to them. You can also talk to the seller himself, because I mean, let's face it, nobody knows the piece of equipment better than the farmer that's been, driving it or pulling it for the last 5 to 7 years. So we just encourage that communication. We encourage people to reach out and talk to us, whether you're an interested buyer or if you've got something you want to sell as well, just call us anytime.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tim and Ted, for all of this information and this walkthrough of this platform. It was very good, and it seems really simple to use.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christy.
And thanks to all who are watching. If you want to connect with Fastline Auctions, you can head on over to auctions.fastline.com. Tomorrow, we'll send you all a copy of the recording in case you feel like watching it again or sharing this webinar. And have a great night, everyone. Thanks so much.